school of thought has this to say: innovation is the key to driving progress forward, and without science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, research, our society will be ill-equipped to handle the pressing problems of the future. Through research, we can increase our ability to handle future obstacles. STEM, an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is a learning process used to develop students to be skilled and competitive in their preferred fields. 8th of November every year is set aside to support the education of students pursuing STEM subjects by learning about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. As the aim of the National Day focuses on helping students advance in STEM fields, children are significantly better off with strong STEM skills, and that is why STEM education programs are important in the 21st century. To shed more light in this perspective, we have two educationists to guide us through the significance, benefits, and prospects for the World STEM Day. Welcome to the program. I am Lydia Odidiochi. Thank you for joining us. With me in the studio is Amina Abdullahi Abubakar. She is the director at Tarbiyah STEM School. We're glad to have you join us on the program.
Thank you.
Also with me is Mamu Alhaji Muhammad, Chairman, CEO, STEM Childcare Academy. You're welcome to Nigeria today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, now let me begin with Mamu. World STEM Day, what is it all about? A brief for our viewer back home to catch up and follow the direction we are navigating today on this program.
Well, World STEM Day is a day set aside to underscore the significance and the importance of STEM education. If you look at the dynamism and the magnitude of digital transformation that is sweeping across all facets of our life, you will understand that we need to have STEM so as to reshape the future. Okay. Because if you look at places like Amazon and Alibaba, they are shrinking the size of physical stores, while the physical stores are also eliminating human workforce by using self-checkouts, shelf-stacking robots, warehouse robots, and what have you. Then you come to the hospitality industry. You will find out that you have robots that have over 2,000 recipe capability. Okay. You have a touch screen orders and what have you. So now, because of this digital transformation, there will be disconnect between our present educational system and the future job skills requirement. Okay. So now, it's only STEM education that can be that has the capacity to actually address these huge gaps.
All right. Now, Amina, let's talk about the learning and support to this field. What are the benefits incurred in it, and why the encouragement for these majors?
Well, as you said, the world has moved over. Okay. We are no more analog, we are now digital. If there's anything above digital, that's what the world is today. And you can see definitely it's very important, especially for a country like Nigeria, that we are way, way behind. Though when you look at it, when you look at our homes, our offices, everywhere, we have a lot of gadgets. Yes. That you sit down and think how they come about. But unfortunately, almost everything is imported. So that's the reason why STEM education is very important. If we really want to move up, to go to the world market, which is now digital, then we have to start from the scratch. And the scratch is from education. Education right from primary school to secondary school and then to university. So that is why STEM is important, especially for us in Nigeria. Because if we really want to move on, I think we must go back to STEM and we must encourage And the government and everyone must put their hands together to make sure that STEM education is emphasized in all our schools.
All right. Now, Mamo, it's amazing how quick children catch up with present-day technology, especially when you see them with their iPads and their phones. Now, you operate a STEM childcare academy, which means you are catching them very young. How can you appraise the children in this field of study?
Well, we are doing excellently well in that direction because using STEM education, we succeeded in having a paradigm shift from the old system of education where it is full of obsession for examination and grades to a system whereby it encourages children critical thinking, agility, resilience, and tinkering. So now, right from age 5, we teach them coding, we teach them robotics, we teach them 3D design, we teach them gamification. And they are learning really, really fast. Okay. So, and then what we are doing in essence is that we are trying to equip them with the future job skills, which we think the present system of education is operating in Nigeria is not capable enough to really give them what it needs. Because it is said that, I don't know, I have not laid my hand on any statistic in Nigeria, but in the United States, there are about 310,700 industrial robots, and it's increasing by over 40,000 each year. And it is said to be that there's almost 3 million industrial robots across the globe. So now, this is very scary statistics. That shows that the future is really robot. I also read an article where they said by the year 2030, 22 million robots are going to be used in United States industries. And then automation has the tendency and capacity and potentials to create over 73 million jobs in America by the year 2030.
So they are replacing humans?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Anything you can do now, robots are doing it. They're doing it. There are restaurants across the world that have achieved 100% automation. If you are talking about medicine, you also need robots to perform laser precision surgeries. They're already doing it. So in every field of human endeavor, robots are competing with humans.
Wow.
So now the challenge is for us to learn skills that we can be able to control the robots.
Yes.
For example, the future civil engineer will maybe have to work with robots to help him build the place or the building. So he had to equip himself with the necessary or requisite skills that can be able. He has to understand the robotic language, that is the coding, to be able to control the robots to give him the desired result. Probably, if you go to banks in near future, you will just meet.
I hope there will be banks.
Yes, of course. You know, the customer care will only. You will just meet robots in the customer care to attend to you.
All right. Now, Amina, let's go back to the basics. Talking about mathematics, science, technology, and engineering, like you said. Usually, most students are afraid of these subjects. So what's been done differently to entice them or encourage them to go into this field?
You see, the fear is usually fear of the unknown. But with STEM, it's not unknown. Because almost all topics are translated into activities that you can do with your hands and you see the result. So it's no more just theory. You know, the problem with us is that the teacher comes to the classroom, teach, talk, and then go. And you are expected to cram everything that he has said so that you pass your exam. But in case of STEM, you don't need to do that because the concepts are broken down to the minimal. You can see them, you can touch them, and you can do them. So if you can do that, it sticks in your head. It's no more just learning for exam, but it is lifelong learning. That is what STEM encourages.
Practicals.
Practicals, yes. Activities. So everything, every topic, you can get activities out of them, no matter the subject. So if you use STEM, you bring out all these activities, it sticks in the minds of the children because they have performed the activities and they know how to do it and they can replicate it in other forms. So that is important. One important thing about STEM is that it gives the child opportunity to think critically because you have the world to explore. No, you are not limited to a certain thing like we are limited in our own time. If they give you a topic, you cram what your teacher has given you as notes. No, this one, you can even challenge your teacher. If this is what they say, then we can do this out of this. So many things come out of one lesson. And that is what we are doing. And I'm very happy because most of the children in Nigeria, because of the gadgets that we have at home, as Isa said, they have TVs, they have computers at home, and they play and do everything with them. They think faster than their teachers. So sometimes it's even the teacher that will just send you some notes, and then you come in interactive lessons, you discuss the notes sent by your teacher because you may have also researched into the topic even before coming to the class. So the teacher must be up and doing, and also the student can challenge them. So you definitely, there's a shift from the normal. You don't need to cram. We don't even need to emphasize certificates. You see, our system is always certificate. You go to university, you graduate, you get a certificate, then what? As he said, all these things are being phased out. There are so many jobs that are being phased out now. So if you don't have the requisite technological know-how, then you will be lost. And as Nigeria, we are trying to move up, so we have to go back to the basic, and the basics is education. And I want to say that for us, almost most of the private schools, of course, have realized the importance of that. And the government too is waking up to realize the importance of STEM education. So every hands are now being put on deck so that the technological aspect will not be lost. And the most important thing is that there is no difference between girls and boys. We have found out in our school.
All right.
Yes, the girls and the boys compete, and in fact, to a certain extent, the girls usually are better than the boys. So you can see, every child in Nigeria has something to offer.
Of course.
But it's the enabling environment that is very critical. If we give environment to our children, even at home, you know, if you can't get something on your phone, you give your child, he will do it for you.
Yes,
so that is to show you that every child in Nigeria has potentials.
Definitely.
Then we must finance those potentials.
You know, talking about robots, probably one day a robot might be presenting this program.
Absolutely.
Welcome,
Absolutely.
Nigeria Today. Okay, now let's talk about STEM and STEAM, which is operational in Nigeria presently.
No, I think they are more or less interrelated. They are almost the same. The only difference is that in STEAM they add art. That's all. But in STEM, yes, they add art. Yes, initially it was STEM, then it transformed into STEAM. And then with the addition of art, some feel like, okay, why should it be science, technology, engineering, and mathematics alone? Why wouldn't you also add arts? You know, because even the arts can also be made in terms of science, you know, in a way. Because now, when you talk about fashion design, some people might say it has no relationship with science to some extent. Maybe. But now, transformation is now bringing something that has to do with intelligent clothing. In the near future, you will have cloth that will adapt to the temperature
of your body, yes.
And then you have cloth that will change colors.
Yes.
So you have one, but people will think, I can enter this place with one color and then change another color.
Yes.
So look at how artificial intelligence and digitalization is now changing almost everything.
That's it. Let's take a break and hear from students undergoing STEM education, as put together by our correspondent, Alika Okpanachi Arua.
STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Yes, STEM has taught me to be a critical thinker, and STEM has taught me to manage my time a lot and to know and do the right thing at the right time.
So basically, science is not hard. You need to focus, read and read and read and read.
As a girl studying science, it's an opportunity and I'm very happy about it because I tend to bring out all the ideas I have in my brain to the society and solve the problems around me, helping not only me and my family but also the society at large and the nation.
I would like to say to my fellow girls, they should not be afraid and they should not always give up. They can do it because what a man can do, a human can do better.
My advice to them is that you should become anything you want to become, because like in a lot of schools, more girls are doing better than the boys. So you shouldn't let anybody tell you can't do what you want to do.
The idea of STEM is just gaining ground in Nigeria and indeed in Africa. And this is why this school has come up with the idea of making some awareness about STEM so that we can incorporate STEM into our educational curriculum in Nigeria. And that will be the basis that will take us to that level.
As a parent, we buy toys for our kids. Let's try to channel the kind of resources we have instead of buying toys that are not educative. We have Legos. We don't use Legos here, but they're educative toys that can help shaping the mindset of the kids.
What I'm advising teachers is just to change the method or the approach of the teaching just a little bit. Let them start thinking of more of practical work than just the theoretical work they are doing.
Welcome back. The program is still Nigeria Today, and we were discussing STEM education, benefits and prospects with two educationists, Amina Abdullahi Abubakar, Director at Tarbiya STEM School, and Mamu Alhaji Muhammad, Chairman, CEO, STEM Child Care Academy. Now, let me stick with you. The rate of female participation in the STEM education has been low, especially in engineering. Now, how can we encourage more girls to partake in this field?
Well, giving them the same exposure with the boys, that is one way, and that is what we are doing. We don't look at you as a girl in our school. We take you as a student. And to be honest, so many of the students are ready for any engineering job. It's just the exposure and enabling environment. You see, that notion that engineering is just for men, it has since been eroded. We now know that anything that brain can bring, a child can do. But the problem is, as today, the economic situation may not be favorable for other parents to be able to send all their children. And as usual, for that, if there is a choice, you likely send your male child to a science school. But from what is happening in the world today, and from what is happening even from us in Nigeria as parents, we know that even what the men will do to even their family, the women will do better. So you understand, it's just for us to enlighten them right from childhood. As from in the primary school, if you take STEM education in primary school, you are exposed to everything. So, but so many things are being done for the girl child. And sometimes when you look at it as an educationist, you can see that they are way ahead of the boys now. So there is also a need for us to look at the boy child and also encourage him. So I can say to a certain extent, and maybe in the urban centers, there is equality. But in the rural areas, that is where the government will have to come in.
All right.
To subsidize education so that everybody, the girls can, even the parents, if they don't have, they can easily send their girl child to school. And that will definitely open way for girls to go to school. Even in the religious aspect, we are now becoming aware that we need to educate both sexes. We don't need to just Even at home, you need science because all the gadgets in the kitchen are electrical appliances, and they make work easier for the woman. So it's just everywhere. We just have to come up, and the parents and the government should also have to look at it and allow the girls to come to school.
That's it. Okay, now, Mamo, the STEM education from our research is more of practical than theory. Are there enough, do we have enough equipment to maintain and sustain the tempo?
Yes, for the private school, yes. For the private school, I think we have enough because we invest a lot in buying robots. We invest a lot in buying softwares because most of the things are either software-based or robotics or what have you. We have 3D machines in our school. We expose these children to 3D design, and then after they must have design, they will use the machine to have the 3D model of that design. You know, we teach them how to create games instead of being playing with games. So they can be able to play games, they can be able to create the games themselves, they can be able to create cartoons. So, but at the same time, I think the expenses of STEM education is also directly proportional to the scope at which you are taking. Because myself and her school, we had a program for less privileged girls that we call it from the narrowness of kitchen to the vastness of science and technology, where it's in line with the theme of this year's STEM Day, that is STEM for all.
For all, yes,
so,
yes,
exactly.
Actually. Now, let me ask you one final question, Amina. The inventions and innovations by the students, are they being put to use or just for display?
Well, we see you start from somewhere. You start from a prototype and then you move on to the real thing. But as you said, everything is a bit too expensive. Like we have designed a traffic density control traffic light, which we presented to FCT Transport Secretariat, and then somebody there advised us that we should get the banks to bankroll the project or some of these companies. You see, research is very important, and that is where we don't put much attention on. And researchers need money. And if the private sector and then the educational sector will come together to put the knowledge from the schools and then the bankrolling from the private sector, we move. Because even outside the country, it's not the government that does everything. The private sector has to come in, and they have to realize that they need to come in so that we can develop and invent things that will make their work easier.
All right. Thank you very much. We wish we had more time to talk, but that's all we can take on the program. That's Nigeria Today, and our special thanks goes to our two guests, Amina Abdullahi Abubakar, Director at Tarbiya STEM School. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mamu Alhaji Mohammed, Chairman, CEO, STEM Childcare Academy. Thanks for your insight.
Thank you for having me.
Hope to have you once another time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And of course, our viewer, we thank you for staying with us, and we appreciate you as well. The program airs weekdays at 7:30 in the evenings on NTN News 24. You can watch this episode and other ones on www.youtube.com/NTN News 24 Hub. Thank you for being a part of the program. I am Lydia Odijochi. Bye for now.